How much could your party change without Nancy Pelosi at the helm?
Well, first of all, she has been one of the most consequential people in American politics. I mean, she's someone who saved our economy in 2008 when Paulson came begging to her for the stimulus. She got the Affordable Care Act passed. She stood up against the war in Iraq. She has gotten the biggest climate package. She's historic, and she is extraordinary at the politics. So it's filling the shoes of a giant, and it's an extraordinary loss that we're going to feel for many years to come.
Hakeem Jeffries, who could very well replace Pelosi, shares her willingness to keep far left factions in check. Are you concerned at all what this could mean for progressives? It's a big tent party, and she was successful at keeping that tent together. Not easy.
She was. And at the end of the day, look, we passed the Inflation Reduction Act, the infrastructure bill, the CHIPS Act, and the American Rescue Plan, and progressives voted for all of them. And so I think that the narrative that somehow the party is disunified is not true. We've actually been very unified. The party that doesn't have unity is the other side. I mean, that's the honest case. And look at, as you pointed out earlier in the show, all they're talking about is Hunter Biden. And Stephanie, I want to say something. I never attacked in the 4 years Trump was there, a single person in Trump's family who wasn't in the White House. I went after Jared Kushner because Trump said he's in charge of Middle East peace. But I didn't go after random nieces and nephews. Hunter Biden has nothing to do with government. He's a private citizen, and it is cruel that they're attacking him after all that he's been through in his life. And that is, I think, the modern Republican Party. It's cruelty. And that's what's so frustrating to many of us.
Well, then, on that very note, I'd like to give you a preview of what Marjorie Taylor Greene herself is thinking about focusing on in the days ahead. Watch this.
I can tell you right now, my district, Georgia 14, is not interested in continuing to fund a war in Ukraine and defending Ukraine's border while our border is being invaded every single day.
You sit on the Armed Services Committee. How much of a battle is there about to be?
Well, that's just highly irresponsible given Putin's bombardment recently of Ukraine and the human rights violations. But we're going to have the votes, and Putin should know we'll have the votes to pass President Biden's aid package to Ukraine, both in the lame duck, and there are Republicans who are going to continue to fund the war. So fortunately, Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't speak for the American public.
Could it end up being a net positive for you, for Democrats, to have someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene in power? There are all sorts of Republicans, right? Fancy, wealthy, New York City Republicans, the C-suite Republicans out there who love to pretend that the Marjorie Taylor Greenes don't exist. If she has serious power in this party, they can't pretend anymore.
Stephanie, electorally, it's probably in our advantage. But you know why I don't like it? Because it's not good for this country. It's going to further divide this country. It's going to further turn people off from politics. It's not going to solve the issues of immigration, of building our manufacturing base. It's going to be 2 years of not doing things to build America. So fine, maybe it's going to help ensure Joe Biden's election. But we don't come to Congress for that. We want to do things. And that's what's so frustrating.
How about solving the issues over at the Twitter? You are our Silicon Valley congressman. Twitter, as we know it, could be gone. What do you think of this?
I'll tell you what I told Elon Musk directly. I said,
Khanna dropping the mic. I'm going to tell you what I told Elon Musk directly.
Well, he's in my district. He's in my district. The Tesla's in my district. And I'll share it with him. Look, I said, why would you want to run Twitter? Who wants to run Twitter? I mean, Stephanie, do you want to be there telling which tweet should be there, which tweet shouldn't be there?
Hell to the no.
And so I read today that he's saying, OK, he's going to have someone else run Twitter. That would be the smartest thing that Elon Musk could do. Elon Musk has done some incredible things with Tesla, with the rockets and SpaceX. I rather he use his brilliance to do those things than making decisions about what tweets should stay on. And I think he should look at what Bezos did with the Washington Post, have independent editorial board, not have the day-to-day management. That's, in my view, the best thing he could do.
Is any or all of this hugely frustrating? Because you wanted to have smart regulation on all sorts of these platforms. It didn't happen. And now you've got what some people call a town hall being run by one individual, and there's not really any rules around it because none were set.
Yes, we need to pass some of the rules. Some of the rules are pretty simple. You get to own your own data. You shouldn't have Twitter get all of your data and then target people. You should have some knowledge of Twitter's algorithms and not allow them to just recommend QAnon and other functions. But the basic thing is that there should be independence between the owners of Twitter and those who are making decisions about who should be on. I mean, look, the person, I don't even know who owns MSNBC, but they're not deciding whether I get to come to your show. The idea that Elon Musk should be determining the rules of democracy is very problematic. And I don't think he wants to be in that position.
As he put out a joke on Twitter earlier, he said, how do you go from having how do you make a small fortune? He said, start with a large one. That is what has happened to him with Twitter in the last 2 weeks. Great to have you in New York.
Always a pleasure.
Congressman Khanna from the great state of